Welcome back. Namaste again. So, these are some of the wonders of astrology I'll be capturing. We are studying theory on one hand, but how is it applied is also interesting to know. And in our day to day life, we hear a lot of this word called Manglik. What does it mean and how does it affect our day to day lives? We'll go through a short video to understand. First of all, Manglik is a very overhyped concept. It has caused a lot of fear amongst our society, especially during marriage time. So let's overcome that fear first. Manglik, the word itself, is derived from Mangal, which means good. In regular vocabulary, it is auspicious. But in astrology, Manglik means dosha, as in something is wrong. It means it has a malefic effect. But let's really understand what this means. Mars by itself is a planet which is a very karmic planet. It's full of energy and it always wants to do something. And in terms of its behavior on the negative side, it can also mean a lot of ego and self-esteem. But if you notice, ego and self-esteem have a very thin line. If you have too much self-esteem, which goes beyond day-to-day adjustments, then it turns into ego. So they're a little bit on a fine line. These two charts I have downloaded from Astro. You look at where I've marked Mars. For those of you now who have gone through the entire episode 1 to 10, you will know this is house number 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here also, this is ascendant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So house number 1, 4, 7, 8, and 12. 1, 4, 7, 8, and 12. If it has Mars in your birth chart, then you are Manglik. So let's see in this case, this person, the Mars is sitting on this area, house number 5. Do you see that? So by the definition I've given here, this is not a Manglik Kundli. But a lot of people in the books have defined it in different ways. But for starters, it's enough to understand house number 1, 4, 7, 8, and 12. If this has Mars in your birth chart, that means you are Manglik. Now, what does it technically mean? Mars, because it's a naturally crude and a difficult planet, if it's placed in a position in your birth chart which comes in the way of your relationships, for example, it can cause pain because this is a person with some level of ego and it can be beyond self-esteem. But if it is in a house of like say career or somewhere where you need to be really positioned well, then it's very positive. So Manglik is not necessarily a bad thing as it is given in the society. It's a person with very strong views. And on top of that, if you look at birth charts, I'm sure like if you see the theory of probability, if 5 houses, I've said 1, 4, 7, 8, and 12. 5 houses out of your 12 houses is supposed to be effective if Mars is sitting there. Then a lot of us will land up being Manglik, isn't it? So how does it work then? Basically, a lot of this Manglik behavior gets cancelled by many things, and some examples are if it's sitting in its own house, like if it is sitting in 1 and 8. Remember 1 and 8, the Lord is Mars, then it definitely gets uh, neutralized. Then if it's in exalted state, or if exalted state, you remember, it should be in house number 10. Then if it's in a friendly home, that means if it's in a home with like Mars is very friendly with Jupiter, it's very friendly with Sun, it's friendly with it's okay with Mercury, not that great. It's very difficult with Saturn. So if it's in a non-friendly house, it does cause a lot of difficulty. But if it's in a friendly house, well, you don't, your Manglik, so to say, behavior is neutralized. So if you have still doubts on Manglik, I've kept it very simple and small. You can comment in the queries, or else you can send it to me on the mail ID I've given here. I'll see you soon.